For many today, life seems like a frenzy. Life seems like it is moving at a pace that is almost unbearable. So before you know it, the week is over. And before you know it, the month is over. And before you know it, the year is over. And it seems like a day, a year has passed within a day. And my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, when we take a look at what Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal tells us about those who are there Yawmul Qiyamah, and they are questioned as to how long they spent in this dunya, and these will be people who have enjoyed of the dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَالَ كَمْ لَبِثْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ عَدَدَ سِنِينَ. How long did you live in terms of years? How many years did you spend in the dunya? قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم فاسأل العادين. They will say, we lived for a day or part of a day. So ask those who are counting. We lived for a day or part of a day. So ask those who are counting. If I were to stand here today and ask myself that where did the last 5 years go, it is almost as though it is a blur in the mind. Someone says, last year in this month you did such and such. I have to think about it. You have to question. You have to go back and really ask yourself, what happened? Did it really happen? Is that what? Oh, okay, yes, that is what happened. Allahu Akbar. Now, as we move towards Qiyamah and towards the end of times, the hadith tells us that there will be taqarub al-zaman, which means that time will almost be crumpled up. And people will find themselves in a frenzy, one thing after another. We assumed that by getting technology and by being able to communicate with the other part of the globe within seconds, our lives would become easier. But if anything, they've only become more frenzied. So you find a person is literally bouncing from activity to activity, activity to activity. And time just seems to be passing. And my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, if we don't actively take out time to slow down our day, then ultimately our entire lives will pass in this fashion. ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون. The gathering of this dunya has distracted you. Let's take a look at what it is that we are engaged in and why it is that we find ourselves in this frenzy. It is a pursuit. It's the pursuit of this world. So the gathering and pursuit of this world distracts us. The ayah says, حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ, until you visit the graveyards. And this visit, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, is not one where we will be the pallbearers and we will be the carriers, but we will be the carried. We will be those who are now visiting the graveyard for the last time, leaving this dunya forever. I'm not here to doom us. I'm not here to be this person who makes death to be such a morbid issue, something where we are afraid of leaving this world. No. I want us to understand that this death is coming and we are moving towards it, so we might as well slow down our time. Take it easy, relax. And how do you do that? You do that with Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. You know why? When you focus on the fact that you are here to build something else and to go somewhere else ultimately, then what happens? You take your time. You build slowly, you relax, you are with Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. And when your heart is with Allah, what happens? أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. It is with the dhikr of Allah, the remembrance of Allah, that the hearts find peace. They find serenity, they find ease. So what happens? Yes, your day may be a frenzy, but you enter into the masjid and automatically you find yourself at peace, calm, relaxed. Why? Allah has caused that in your heart as a direct result of your preparation for that which is the garden of peace ultimately, which is Jannah. If we take a look at Jannah, what is Allah calling us to? Wallahu yad'u ila daris salam wa yahdi man yasha'u ila siratin mustaqim. And Allah invites you to the home of peace. That's what Jannah is. This dunya is confusion. This dunya is difficulty. This dunya is hardship. This dunya is a frenzy. But Allah invites you to the home of peace. And you know what? You want a piece of that peace? Then come to the Jannah in this world. Come to the masjid. Come to the remembrance of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. Come to the reminder of your ultimate abode, which is with Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. And then you find peace. Then you find serenity. Then you find the ability to slow down your life. Why? No matter what I do of this dunya, no matter how much I run after it, what is decreed for me will always come to me regardless. Regardless. So from your birth to your death, your rizq has been written for you. But as insan, what do? We chase our rizq and we leave that which we were created for, which is the worship of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, to get to Jannah ultimately. Your rizq has been decreed. It is written. What will enter into your mouth from the time you are born to the time you die has been written. And you will never leave this world. You will not leave this world until you eat that last morsel of food. But as insan, we forget. We forget. And what we do is we chase the dunya. Now, having said that, what is the solution? How do we become more peaceful? And how do we understand? How do we implement this in our lives? As human beings, we will forget. But we need to remind ourselves time and again. You'll find yourself in a frenzy. And when you find yourself in that frenzy rushing, slow down. And remember Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. Say Allahu Akbar. Why? Because that Allahu Akbar means that Allah is greater than the entire dunya and everything that it contains. Everything that it contains. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to eat of this dunya, you know what He says? هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور. He is the one who made this world easy, this earth easy for you to walk upon, for you to cultivate. He made it easy. فامشوا في مناكبها. So walk in it. Walk on this dunya. And eat from His rizq. وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورُ. And to Him ultimately you shall be raised. But when Allah spoke about the akhirah, He says, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. So run to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. You see the difference? When it comes to the dunya, your rizq, your sustenance, walk. You will receive it. Relax. Take it easy. What is meant for you will come to you. What is meant to go into your stomach, nobody will ever snatch it out of your mouth. It is meant to come to you. It will come. But relax. Take it easy. It will come. As for Allah, as for the akhirah, run to Allah. You know why? When you run to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, you find more peace. in this dunya. And as you move towards your akhirah, you understand that ultimately I'm moving to a place of peace. So Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal grants you that peace. So relax, take it easy. And this is proven in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In fact, it is an athar from the time of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, where a man comes and he's begging. So he opens up the door and he sees this man begging. He says to him, what is it that you want? He says, this is what I want, give me something of this dunya, etc. So Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, he goes back into his home. And he looks for something. And in the meantime, the beggar notices that there's a bridle. The bridle of the horse? He sees it lying there. So he says, let me grab this and go. This is valuable. So he grabs it and he goes to the marketplace and he sells it. Now Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, when he comes back, he sees that his bridle is missing and it's gone. So he says to his servant that take this few dirhams or whatever it was, these few silver coins, and go to the marketplace and look for a bridle. So he goes to the marketplace and he purchases a bridle and he comes back. And he says to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, this is the bridle that I bought. So Ali looks at it and he says, it is the same bridle that was sitting here. What happened? This man stole it, so he hastened his rizq. He hastened his sustenance. So he received it in a manner that was displeasing to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. Had he waited just a few moments, he would have received those silver coins with halal. Allah would have given them to him with halal. All we are doing when we rush and we do the wrong thing is we are earning the anger of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal in earning our rizq. And when we do the right thing and we follow the correct path, then we are earning the pleasure of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. So this is why we say, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, يا أيها الرسل كلوا من الطيبات واعملوا صالحا, He addressed the messengers and He said, oh messengers, eat from that which is good and do good deeds. And then when we look at our actions, we will come to realize that perhaps we are eating from haram. And that is why we behave in the manner that we behave in. Or perhaps we are eating from halal, and that is why we are behaving in the manner that we are behaving in. So remember this and never forget it, that no matter what you do, your rizq is written from the beginning of your life to the end of your life. Does this mean you should sit at home and wait for it? No. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed you to go out and earn a living. So when you go out and you make an effort, you are being rewarded by Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. But now the path that you choose is either pleasing to Allah or it is displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whatever you do, regardless, it is actually written, your rizq is written and you will never miss it. Hence we say, there is no point in stealing another man's property, in doing dubious deals, in deceiving others, in cheating others. Sometimes, and we've heard this often, and I give this example because we know it very well. You have somebody who's come to you with a property for sale, and there is an agent involved, and you know that he has come to you, he is the one selling to you. What do? You find out who the owner is and you cut him out completely. You go to the owner, say, cut his percentage out or minus it, make it half. And what we do, we do the deal directly. All you've done is perhaps for 5% or 2.5%, you've cut the person out, deceived him, and taken the barakah out of that deal. You've removed the barakah out of that deal. So ultimately you cut him out, but you actually cut out the barakah. Remember that no matter what you do, you will eat only that which is decreed. So you've chosen the anger of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal over the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's all you did. You removed the pleasure of Allah out of that and you added the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into it. So, and there are so many examples of this, so many examples where people feel that, let me quickly do this. Somebody is bidding for a property, and another man comes and he knows that his brother is bidding. What does he do? He comes to him, he says, I'll give you a little bit more. The deal has been done. The hands have been shaken. They've moved away. And now he comes and he says, you know what? Cut him out. Cut him out. And I'll give you a little bit more. You ultimately purchased a bit of the fire. That's all you did. You purchased a bit of Jahannam. Allahu Akbar. Why would you do that? Don't do that. Rather, go and say, you know what? My brother is there. He's bid for this property. He's sealed the deal, whatever it is. I was going to give you more, but in fact, sell it to him. And you know what happens? Allah replaces it with something better. Allah replaces it with something better. Why? Because you chose the sustenance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the displeasure of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, this ideology of we will do whatever it takes to attain of this dunya is something that we need to rid from our hearts. Because when we understand where we are going and what is happening in reality in our lives, and that is that we are moving towards our death, then we will do anything and we will sell anything of this dunya in order to achieve the pleasure of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, knowing that I am actually going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will stand before Him. I will receive my Jannah, or I will receive whatever it is that I've worked towards. So I'd rather actually attain the pleasure of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. This is where it starts. It starts in the heart. And when we understand that and we implement it in our lives, then ultimately we'll find ourselves at peace. And we will find ourselves enjoying our lives, not only the akhirah and that which builds towards it, but also of this dunya. Whatever we receive, we enjoy it because it is with barakah and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal to give us the ability to practice upon the goodness that has been shared. Whatever I have said of good is from me and from Allah. Whatever I have shared of goodness is from Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, and whatever I have shared of wrong and bad is from shaitan and myself, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.